Hi, and welcome to the second part of expanding single brackets on Kirby Maths, and we're going to look at what happens when you've got some negative signs to be careful of. Let's have a look at this example of expanding and simplifying. So if I had 2 brackets x plus 1, add 4 brackets x minus 2. Now we've got a negative sign in there, and that means we need to take just a little bit of extra care. The process is the same. We draw our arrows in. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 1, and there's a plus sign in there. We then need to take our 4 on the outside of the bracket, and we're going to multiply that by the other things in the bracket. But we're going to make sure we take the sign of it with us, because in a minute you're going to see we're going to need to do that. Now, it could help you in another colour to keep all of these signs together, and particularly important is this negative 2 here. So 4 times x is 4x, and it is positive, so this is plus 4x. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. And that is where the negative sign starts to make a difference to how we expand this bracket. Tidying this up, the x's all together, I've got 2x plus 4x, which is 6x. And then I've got add 1, take away 8. And if I've got add 1, take away 8, then I'm left with take away 7 in total. Let me just do another example where it looks like this, and then I'll move on to where we've got a negative sign outside of the bracket. 3 brackets x minus, plus 2, add 2 brackets x minus 5. Okay, so this is very similar to the top one, just different numbers. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is 6, everything's positive, happy days. On this one, we've got a plus 2 and a minus 5. So we're doing 2 times x, it's positive, so it's plus 2x, and then 2 times minus 5, which is minus 10. That's our expansion, and then when we go to tidy it up, 3x add 2x is 5x, 6, positive 6, take away 10, leaves us with minus 4. And so that's the final tidied up answer. Right, I'm going to put a negative sign in the front bracket this time. So 4 bracket x minus 2, keeping this one positive, plus 3 bracket, make this one negative, x minus 4. Again, once the negative sign comes in, if you circle the numbers to keep the signs with them, then this will help you. And if you talk to yourself whilst you're doing it, just like I am slowly saying 4 times minus 2, then if you say that to yourself slowly, you are less likely to make a mistake. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. Positive 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12. So that's the expansion bit done. Then when we come to tidy it up, the x's are all positive, so I've got 4x add 3x, which gives me 7x. Then you need to be just a little bit careful with this. I've got minus 8 and minus 12, and if I combine those two together, minus 8 take away another 12 is going to take me down to minus 20 altogether. And finally, the most difficult one is when we've got a negative sign here. The second bracket is subtracted, but it's just the same procedure, so you just take it slowly and you will be fine. 3 brackets x plus 2, take away 2 brackets x plus 1. Now, this time, this being negative changes everything in this second bracket, so we just need to be careful of that. You might still find it useful to circle all the signs to keep them with the numbers. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. That's all positive. Now we've got minus 2 times x, which is minus 2x. And then we've got minus 2 times 1, which is minus 2. So that's the expansion bit done, being careful with the signs. Let's tidy it up. I've got 3x, take away 2x, which leaves me with 1x, and then 6, take away 2, which leaves me with positive 4. So that simplifies to x plus 4. And last of all, I know I said finally, but it wasn't finally, this is the final bit. We are going to put a negative sign in here to make it even more tricky. So 4 brackets x, let's put negative signs everywhere, that's the most horrible it could possibly be. X minus 1 minus 3 brackets x minus 2. Again, circle your numbers with the signs so that you're really sure when you're timesing with these negative numbers. Multiplying out. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times minus 1 is minus 4. Onto the second bracket. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. And then this is the absolute most difficult bit of it all. Minus 3 times minus 2. And remember, a minus times a minus makes a positive. So minus 3 times minus 2 is positive 6. Then we tidy up. Our x is 4x. Take away 3x leaves me with 1x, or just x. And then I've got minus 4, and I'm adding 6, so that would take me up to positive 2. Okay, the main thing to remember when you've got negative signs is to circle them, and it's useful to do it in another colour if you can, to keep the sign with the number, because when you're adding at the end, when you're tidying up, you need to make sure that you've got the correct sign with it. We are always multiplying along these arrows, so when you're doing 2 times minus 5, you need to make sure that you know that's going to be counted to be minus 10. And especially once you get down here and you've got minus 3 times minus 2, and that's then turning into a positive number. Thanks for watching.